I was laughing. It was so funny. Oh, the dog's snoring again. Hello, hello. I see some curious friends that want to see what's going to happen tonight. Say hi when you get here so I know that I can see comments, and then I'll get rolling. Are you singing? Hello, hello. Say hello.
Hello.
You're such a comedian.
Hola.
I don't see any comments. I hope I can. Can you check on your phone? Say hi to me.
Hi.
On your phone. Hi, Cheryl. I'm good. I'm so glad you commented. Dale's sitting across from me going, hello. Hi, Adele. Okay, so I figured we'd stay on our theme for this week. I promise it won't be forever. It will just be this week. But I decided to pull another stencil and make another design. Because I just wanted to see what else we could do. I want to use these stencils more and more and more. And I think a lot of people use them for what they look like when they're on there. So I thought I would pull this one because it has quite a bit of design in it. This is our Pharaoh mandala that we did for...
Hello, Sandy.
Dale.
I said hello on my phone.
Oh, you're such a dork. So it was really generally created for the Egyptian theme, and it does go with it very, very well. But today, we are not going to do that. We are not going to color Egyptian theme. We are going to make this into an entirely different theme. So I've already picked the colors, and I'm only going to use 10 colors total tonight. So it's a low color marker amount tonight. And we're going to use the Pharaoh mandala. Hello, Mama. And again, we're going to use our multi-liner. This one tonight is actually 0.5. It's the 0.5 one. I just replaced the nib and the ink in it. So you just pull this end off and put a new one in. And the nibs come off right here. You just pop it off, put a new one in. And since I had a new one and it's working really good now, I thought we would use this one. I needed to replace it, so that's why I didn't use it before. We're going to use Memento ink. We're going to use the sentiment, this Happy Birthday to You sentiment from this stamp set, but that's all we're going to use from the stamp set. We're not going to use the image. Although you could, we are just not going to tonight. So, this is stuck to my backboard, which is crazy. And I think I'm going to stamp it first because I want the ink to really dry, because we're going to do something with the sentiment as well to change up the look of the sentiment. So I'm going to stamp it first. I love that you guys all say hello to each other. Thursdays must not be a great night for people to do live, join in on lives, because it seems like our counts always go down on Thursday. So I'm probably going to stamp this a couple of times because I want it to be super duper dark, and right now it's not. I probably need a new ink pad, or some refill for my ink pad. But for now, we're just going to keep stamping till we get a really good solid color on this. I'm using the espresso to evenly distribute the pressure so I don't have to do this. What?
Regret passing up that 50% off at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Or Joann's.
Yeah, just a little bit. One more time. And then I'm going to close the ink pad so I don't stick my arm in it, because I tend to do that when I have open ink pads laying around. Okay, so that's pretty good. You're sure more will come on? Well, that's good, because they won't miss this part. They'll get to see the stencil part. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna put my Misty aside because I don't really need that anymore. And now we have a sentiment ready here. I'm going to spray my stencil so it doesn't move around with Pixie spray. You can get this on Amazon. I want it to just stay still when I lay it on my paper, because this is actually going to be the paper for our design. Now, what I'm going to focus on is getting the stencil exactly where I want it over top of this sentiment. So what I'm looking at, and I'll show you, is I wanted these two diamonds to show right here, kind of like they're pointing at the sentiment. So I've turned the stencil just a little bit to get that perfect position. Now I'm going to zoom in so you guys can really see what I'm doing, and I wish I had moved this over so it was in the middle so you guys could see it. Okay. Just want to make sure that's on there really good. And then I'm going to take, hi Michelle, and then I'm going to take my multi-liner, and this one is a 0.5. If you don't have any of these, they're really inexpensive on Amazon. The one that you could buy, this one is about 12 or 13 bucks because it's refillable and you can replace the nib, but these are only about $3.99. These are disposable, so when they're gone, you just throw them away and move on. So that's pretty simple. So I'm going to start out with doing the large triangles. And I'm just going to trace them. Of course, I don't care about the ones that are off the page.
Michelle said she didn't get a notification.
What's that? Oh, you didn't get a note. I tagged at everyone. I don't know why it didn't go off. And now I'm going to do the small triangles that are underneath the large triangles. So I'm just choosing as I go along what I think will look really good on this. I have a little hair on my fuzzy on the nib of this marker. Yes, we are here. We are playing again. And then I think I want to do these little circles right here. I think they're cute. I like them. So we're going to trace those out. They're pretty small, so that's what she said. Oh, I love you guys. I'm only waiting on one more person's ATCs, and then I'll be able to mail those out. So if you participated in that, and if you haven't signed up for the retreat, there's that coming up in April. So you have some time, but seats are limited, so you'll want to book if you're going to come. Okay, and now I'm going to throw you guys off. That was really easy. Is it yours? Is what yours?
ATC.
The ATC? No, I have yours, Michelle. No, it's a new person, so I haven't been able to get a hold of them to find out if they actually shipped them or not, but I'm working on it. So I want to do this smaller triangle as well, but I think I want to do some of this design. But it's all connected in there, and I don't want to do all of it. So I'm just going to do to here, and then I'm going to go straight. Like that. So I've chosen a portion of this design, so this will really look different. I'm going to start at one end. I'm going to go down again, same thing, stop here, come back. And we're just going to do that all the way around. Now this one goes off the page, which is totally fine. Still going to follow the same pattern. Hi, Renska. This one, we're going to put this in there because it is on the page, even though the top part is missing. This is going to look like a big party time for our birthday card. So again, you can do anything you want off of a stencil. Just choose the design that you want to make. Just take a piece of paper and start drawing them out and checking it out and playing with it and decide what you'd like to do with it. And you'll get some really neat stuff. I played with another one earlier tonight that I was thinking I might try. But I liked this one better, so. Okay, so now we have all the little hooks, all the small triangles that are upside down, and then we have all the other triangles around it as well. We're not going to do anything in the center because we stamped happy birthday. So it's upside down. Okay, y'all ready? We're going to take this off and then we're going to color it up. So here we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I really like that. So from this to this, you use the parts that you like and you want, and you can put whatever you want on here. So I'll leave that sitting over there so you guys can see it. So to start out with, I'm going to start with the one that has the very long little hook on it. And I've chosen RV 19, 17, and 14 for those. So we're going to start with 19, which is the darkest shade. And here we go. Okay, now this is very, very skinny, so we're going to have to use the very tip of the marker to color that in. So there's not going to really be any shadowing on that or shading. It's just, I'm just going to do it with this one marker. So you probably will see my hand just because I have to hold the marker really upright in order to color this part. But I want to get this out of the way because it's probably the toughest part to do. And I could have used the multi-liner and just colored it in black, but I really wanted this little pop of pink in there. Yep, exactly. Friday is the only day we don't usually have a live on Friday. So I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm going out of the lines just a little, but I'm okay with that. Oh, it's harder to catch a Jamie live. Are you busy on the weekends? Is that why? I sometimes struggle a little with the weekend ones too. There we go. Okay, and oops, now it's upside down. And since we started with the little hooks, I'm going to actually do, I'm going to do the bottom part of the arrows with this darkest shade. a little bit like we did the other night. I'm going to start by building a little wall there for the darkest color. I'm going to do 2 at a time, I think, for now, until I feel comfortable with them. And then I might do more. But 2 at a time to start. So now I'm going to switch to RV 17, and I'm just going to go over and drag out to kind of smooth the transition and extend out for the new color. I like it with the darkest color underneath since we did this part with the darkest one. So I thought it only made sense to come in with the dark color on the bottom. We love our viewers. You're liking the look already? That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, look at what you can make out of these stencils. They don't even have to be all of this. It can just be a part of it. And I just wanted to show you guys how much more you could use your stencils to build backgrounds. It's just awesome. I love it. I'm having a blast playing with these stencils. So I'm going to do that, come back to it, and hit it one more time after we do this one, after it dries a little bit, so it can be slightly darker, so it blends just a little bit better. There we go. We'll do the same one with this one. Perfect. I love them. It makes them dark on the bottom, lighter on the top. I really, really like that. Now I'm going back to my RV 19, and I'm going to just put 19 on this one because it's just a portion of the little hook there. It looks very festive. I thought so too. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, since I know this one's only going to have the darkest color on it. But I bet when you first saw this, you didn't see it in this manner, huh? Hi, Pam. It's just giving you a whole new way of looking at your stencils. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes you have to actually take the multi-liner and the stencil on scrap paper and just start drawing some of the shapes just to see what portion you like or which one looks really good to you. And then you can go from there. And I'm having so much fun with these. That's why I thought I would share one more. I could probably do this with all the stencils because I like them so much and because I think you can make so much creative stuff with them. But I won't kill you guys with too many videos in a row. We'll come back to this later on. But next week we'll do something else. Not really sure what, but we'll come up with something. I might have a little bit of an issue on Tuesday, doing my live on Tuesday, because I have a photo shoot and I don't know how long it's going to last. Have champagne glasses? Yeah, they kind of do. To celebrate the birthday, yes. I'm going to be in a photo shoot. I have to take photos for someone in a photo shoot on Tuesday. I actually am a professional photographer, but I just don't do a lot of it. This is really where my passion is, but I did go to school for it. So I occasionally get asked by people I know or friends of friends to do photo shoots for them, and I do it because I love it. All right, there we go. So now we have the large pink ones done that are connected to the hooks. Now we're going to change colors. Oh, you thought I was the model? I'm not the model, I promise that. I'm not the model. I'm just the photographer. Although I should say I'm the photographer, not I'm just, because it's important to have your photographer there.
I'm usually the cosplay model.
Dale's usually the cosplay model. I chose B37, BG07, and BG05 for the next set of colors. And I wanted the blue to really stand out, so I'm going to do that on the rest of the large triangles. I could be one. That's very sweet of you to say. It does. I'm not sure. Maybe when I was like 20 years younger or something, I might have done something, but I'm not the model type. Okay, so we're starting on these big diamonds, just doing the bottom portion of it for now. I think I feel comfortable because they're pretty large shape that I'll do the 3 at the top first. I'll do 3 at a time this time. So just build yourself a little wall or fence or whatever you want to call it so that it's easier. We all could be one, that's true. I just love taking photographs and then editing them and all that stuff is. And then how happy people are when you get that shot that they really wanted. Makes you feel really good. Makes you happy you can make them happy. I'll tell you what one of my favorite photo shoots was. I happened to get lucky and I was photographing a wedding and I was talking to one of the ladies that was friends of the bride, and she said her daughter was getting married in Vegas in the Red Rocks, or the whatever they call the big rock stuff up there. And I happened to be going to Vegas that very same weekend, so she asked if I wanted to come and photograph that wedding. They had a photographer. When you get married up there and you buy a bundle deal, you get a photographer with it. But she said if I didn't mind just kind of working around that other photographer, they'd like some extra pictures. So I said I would love to, and those pictures were so amazing. The view behind them, and they were just very romantic. I really, really liked doing that one. I'm going to hit these one more time real quick, just along the seam line to make sure that it looks really smooth there. When it dries, it will be good. Look at the color of that. I love the transition color of that. It goes from like a blue to a blue-green so well. And wait till I add this BG05. Woo! It's going to be so pretty. It looks a little funny at first, but bear with me. It'll be great when it gets done. Needs to smooth out a little bit. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. These colors blend really well together. I'm super happy with them. There we go. Very retro. It does look a little on the retro side, I think. But then again, you know, I was around in that time, so I'm not a young chicken. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And those colors so pretty together. I really like them. I'm super happy with it. I love the retro look. Okay, so now we're going to do, there's not one on either side, so we're going to switch and do the other 3. This one might go faster than I thought. I kept you guys pretty long the first 2 nights this week. This one will go a little faster, I think. And then this one. So again, I would definitely build like a little wall or fence to keep yourself from going outside the lines. It makes it a lot easier. I don't do that with everything, but because these are not people or animals, they're just shapes. So it works really well with just the shapes. It's too short tonight, you need longer. Well, we can always do more stuff if you want to hang around. We could do something else with that probably. We still have to put the card together, so it's going to be a little while. These are really fun though. If you haven't tried it yet, you should. I highly recommend it. I kind of wanted to play with the Celtic circle because it's really just a circle, but I have this idea and I haven't done it yet to try it, but I have this idea with the Celtic circle that I think might be kind of neat. BG05. Nice smooth coloring. I love it. You want to see it with the Celtic circle? We could probably play with the shape tonight. We probably can't do a bunch of coloring with it, but I could show you what I had in mind and we can see if it works after this one, since this one's pretty quick. I didn't expect this one to be so quick, but I think I'm getting used to coloring the shapes now, so I'm a little bit faster at it. Because at first I was doing them really slow, but now look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so that's it for those three colors. So now I decided to use yellow. So Y17, 15, and 13. Now generally when I pick yellow colors, I usually use Y18, but it wasn't quite dark enough for me. I was hoping for a little bit darker, deeper yellow. And I'm going to do the opposite of this one. So I want the dark color on the bottom and the light color on the top. So I'm staying with the same way I shaded the other ones. It'll just be opposite underneath. But I really wanted a big change between the Y17 and the Y13. I didn't want it to all look like it's the same color. So I'm going to do 4 at a time because we have 8 of these. I have a few ideas with that Celtic circle, and you would think not because you just have the little circle, but I think we could, I don't know if it'll work, but we could try it. I don't mind trying it live and see if it works. But I also wanted to play with the manly mandala as well, because that one has a lot of different shapes in it. You see a lot of bling on this card, all those dots. I don't know if I'll do all the dots with bling this time, but we'll see. We definitely could. I picked a color to color those dots, though, underneath. I always think you should put a color underneath, just because if your dot is not quite the exact same size, you don't want white showing underneath it. Look at that. You see the big difference between the darkest yellow and the lightest yellow? That's why I didn't choose Y18. I like these triangles, and I'll be honest, I almost did, I can show you some of the samples that I did, the test runs that I did before the live if I can find them. I can show you, I played with, oh, I know where it is, here it is. You can also do it like this. It almost looks like a spirograph. So you lay it on there and just keep turning it, and do the just the triangles, and it makes like a whole triangle circle around it. And then I tested colors and played. This isn't sweet sentiment paper, so it wasn't blending well. And this is the other one. That's the manly mandala that I was playing with that I thought was super cool. But you can also do, like, you can add the dots. I mean, there's so many. This is also this is all from the manly mandala, which I thought was super cool as well. So there's always a lot of different designs you can get out of one stencil. I mean, I'm just showing you one or two, but there are many, many more. It just depends on what you see and how many of the shapes you draw out. And the Copic multi-liner, it doesn't bleed at all, so you don't have to worry about that. Hi, Amanda. You don't have to worry about that at all. And I like that you get to color it with Copics. I did play a little before the live. I won't lie, with my watercolors, but I am just not good at it. I really need to practice more before I can do watercolors for you guys. I know I was using the wrong paper, and that might have been why it was feeling so difficult for me tonight. So I may have to get the right color. Cool card for you. Is it your birthday? I think I have your birthday on my calendar. You love watercolor? I wish I could watercolor better. I really need to sit down with you, Amanda, and learn how to watercolor, because I mean, I've taken a few classes on it, but for some reason, I just feel like I don't know what to do with it. Do you wet the paper and then use the ink? Do you pick the ink up off the paper, off the table and use? I mean, I don't know. I can't figure out how to do it. Okay, awesome. You can for sure teach me. That sounds great. Tomorrow, I'm kind of open tomorrow afternoon. I have plans tomorrow night, but I'm open tomorrow afternoon. So you guys know I couldn't do an entire image without any purple, right? So I decided to put the purple in these little circles. And I only chose one color because I really wanted it to be light, and they are very tiny. And I wanted to stay a little bit close to the fact that I used RVs for the pink. So I wanted them to mix really well together. So we're just using the very tip of the marker so we can stay inside the little circle. Don't leave your marker on the paper very long, because the longer you leave it, the more the ink will spread. And we don't want to go outside those little lines, those little circles. So we're just barely touching the paper. And now we have happy birthday. Oh, your birthday's tomorrow. But you can do tomorrow too. Oh, yay. See, I knew your birthday wasn't here yet, or I would have known, because I looked at my calendar this morning and I didn't see it. Your birthday on there. Okay, so I wanted to do something else with this besides just coloring in the images that we drew. So I wanted some green in here as well. So I chose one green marker. I chose YG13. And I decided that I wanted to do something with the words to make them a little bit brighter. Yeah, she did a color decks class to help them with their color decks cards. So they came to her house and all did them together so they could participate in this swap. Oh, yes, I love massages. I need one of them real soon. So I was trying to figure out what I could do with this green. So the first thing I decided I wanted to do was highlight the word happy and to you. Almost like there's a highlight on it. Just because I think it makes it look pretty cool. And then I'm also going to fancy up the actual word. So I'm going to go along the edge, the fat edge of each letter. Now, I'm not real good at this, so I might mess it up and do the wrong side, but as long as I'm close, it doesn't really matter. So just along the fat side of each letter. So like this one would have a little bit on the top here, and then along here, along here, along here, and then inside this one. I'm going to go inside this one too, just because I like it that way. And then, of course, this one, then we need to go along here. I'm going to go all the way down this one, come out here, and I'm going to go along the outside, outside of the A, the inside of the A, this Y. I'm going to go all the way, and I'm going to loop around. I want a lot inside there. And put a little bit up here on the top, that piece right there, a little bit right here, and we need a little bit down here as well. And then look how much that changes that birthday. So you can play with your sentiments as much as you can play with the outside. Let's put it all together as a card to make sure that we like the way it looks. So I think I'm going to do the mat with the marker. So I think I'm going to do, let's choose the card base and then we'll go from there. So maybe it needs to be somewhat green. What do you think? Green for the card base? Green, or we could do a pinkish color like that, or we could do a blue if we wanted to. I mean, we have all the colors of the rainbow in this set. Nope, not that blue. Maybe this blue. Or yellow. Wait for you guys to tell me what you think. You like the pinkish one? Here's yellow. Okay, so we have one for pink, one for green, one for blue. Zooming out. Two for green. So somebody likes the green. Two people like the green. So we have green twice. So I think we're rolling with green. Hi, Kay. Okay, I'm just going to put these colors back real quick. I mean, we could make multiples of these and put them in all the colors. All the colors. But I don't think I want to do another layer of paper. So I think I'm going to do the border maybe in the blue-green color. Let's see if we, I don't think that's dark enough. I think we need the really dark one. Yeah. So I'm going to show you this little trick that I do, which you've probably seen before. But I use the chisel end of the marker and just slide it along the edge. I do this with black a lot, but sometimes I'll do it on a card as well because it's just enough to frame that image and make it look super cool. So now when we place it on here, you can see how there's a bit of a border around it, so it's not just flat on there. Hi, Kathy. And I really like that. And it's less paper, so that's super cool. Okay, we need a paper for the inside. I'm gonna fold this up. I'm gonna press it with my espresso and get that flat look. I'm gonna put this one on the inside. This was just using that stencil. I mean, stencils are only like, what, $5.99 I think on the site, sweetsentiment.us, and we have quite a few of them that you could actually make whatever designs you wanted out of. You can even mix them together. You know, you could use the triangles from this one and the circles from the manly mandala. Just, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I do not use sweet sentiment paper for the inside. I use paper that I get from Michael's that just their, whatever their paper brand is. I traced it with a multi-liner. I traced what I liked with the Copic multi-liner so it wouldn't bleed. That washi tape does not stick. I just put that on tonight and it won't stay. So yeah, but I don't use sweet sentiment paper on the inside unless I was going to color something on the inside, because I like to be sparing with my sweet sentiment paper. Because it's the best for coloring. I'm not going to lie, I've been coloring in this coloring book that was made for Copic coloring, but it is not. It's a stencil ATC swap. Ooh, good idea. Oh, I forgot where my train of thought was. But you can mix these up and make so many things. I'm so excited. I really, really like these cards. And these are, you could just color these up anytime you want and then just add the sentiment to it whenever you know like what kind of sentiment you want. You don't have to do it all at the same time. So you could just color them up whenever you're just wanting to sit down and relax and get a little color practice going on, and you could go from there. I think I'm gonna put some bling on here, you guys, because I can't help myself. But I think I'm gonna stick with the teeny tiny ones because I don't want them to stand out too much. So I'm wondering if I should use the black. I have, let's see, green, yellow, maybe the yellow. That yellow looks really good. I think I'm going to stick with the yellow. And I'll just put a few of them on there, not a whole bunch. Just a few of them like around here at the top and the bottom maybe. I like it. I like it. I double like it. I think I need some at the bottom too. You just got, if you have them at the top, you gotta have them at the bottom. Oh, I guess I didn't peel off the sticky with that one. So, Barely Art Glued to the rescue. I love that the Barely Art glue works really well with everything I want to do. I think I might put 4 down here at the bottom so I have an odd number. I think it'll look good. I don't really want to put 3 more. I don't want 12 on there. I think that's too many. But I kind of like it like this. So I usually press them down with my espresso once I'm happy with where they're at. And then there we go. What do you guys think? Look at that birthday card, and you didn't even have to do that much to it. These are just so much fun. I can't wait for you guys to try them. Do you want me to pull out the other stencil and see what we can make? I can show you some different designs we can make without coloring them in. I don't really have time to color them all in, but we could definitely play around with a couple of stencils if you guys want. I think I had, let's see, I had a couple of them out. I think I have 3 I could show you some ideas with. Let me find the Celtic Circle. I don't know where it went. Where is my Celtic Circle? Oh, there it is. Yes, please. Okay, so I pulled the Celtic Circle, Celtic Mandala, whatever you want to call it. I also pulled this one because I have this idea for some of the flowers. So I'll show you what that is. And then I pulled this one as well. So I can kind of show you how I did. This one already has sticky on it, so we'll start with this one. But I think we can fit them on this paper. So I started this one out with doing just the circles. So I went through and I just did all the circles. And honestly, the circles and the dashes in between look pretty cool. I did that. And if you used the dinosaurs for this one, that's what makes me think of. And this one kind of looks like a claw to me. So I think this one's pretty cool. Notice I'm doing it way faster. This is my practice sheet. I take my time a little bit more when I go along so I don't mess up when I'm doing it any other time. But I think if you had dinosaurs and you wanted to do your dinosaurs in the center, it would look really cool. So we have this one. Let's look at what it looks like now. If you just stopped at this point, you have circles and claw, what look like claws to me. And you could use that and put dinosaurs in the center and you would have a cool look. If you wanted to go further, and I have another multi-liner that's in a different color, so I'll show you what that looks like. I have 3 different colors, so I have 4 different colors. Oh my goodness, I have way more than I thought. So that one's going to be too small. That one's a good one. That one's probably going to be too small. That's a good one. And that's a good one. Okay. So multi-liners, I had this one done. I didn't have this one done. I played with it a little bit. Oh, I designed it, if that's what you meant. But I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to use this green one so you can see the different parts as I do it. And I want to get this back on here straight. Okay, there we go. But I was thinking this one, adding this one would be kind of cool. When I did this one, I was just doing shapes. I wasn't trying to come up with anything particular, but it does kind of look like a saw blade, doesn't it? When you do the whole thing, it kind of looks like a saw blade. So now let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I did. It was, I did the insides of this one with these. And I did the circles and the dashes and then this one. And I'll show you how you do that. It's pretty cool. I'll show you. So I haven't done this actual design, but look at that. Isn't that cool? I think that almost looks like bones. So it goes great with the dinosaurs, or you could do it with a puppy, or you could do it with, you know, any kind of design you wanted in the middle. But what I did with this one, which is so neat about this one, and I'll show you, was that I took it once I had it this way, and then I flipped it over, because now they all go the opposite way. And I lined up the circles so that it was laying on there perfectly. And then I went along and I did all of these again. Whoops. So this one I did play with it once already. The sticky is now on this side because I flipped it over, the pixie spray. So that's why it's sticking to my hand. But it's okay, we can play with it. And all these lines, if I touch outside and draw on it, they all come off underwater, or if they get difficult, you can use the colorless blender to remove any of the Copic marker ink off of it. So look at that. Isn't that cool? You want my brain? And I love this. I love this. I would totally use this on something, because now it kind of changed from looking like bones or claws to now you got this really neat little, almost looks like chopsticks kind of. So yeah, you can, there's so much. And look, all I did was add different sections of this to it. And if you wanted to add a little bit more, you can just lay this right back on top of there. Wait, let's get it straight. You can lay it right back on top. And then I'm going to change the color so you guys can really see it. I'll change it to this pinkish color and do the dashes in between. If you wanted to add them, you wouldn't have to. It would just be up to you. But it's all these different designs that you can just make and color any way you want. And that's why I love these stencils so much. I should use them more and more and more, but I think now that I've discovered how easy this is and how cool it looks, I think I'll be doing it a lot more. Bottom of a pineapple. I could see that. And now we have the dashes in there. So for me, that almost looks like a little bit too much. So I would probably not add the dashes, or I would leave something out. But you can also, when you have it like this, if you rotate it just a little bit, the circles fit perfectly in between each other. So I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I have this one lined up. Let's see if we can, and just keep rotating till we get it exactly where we want it. I mean, you can see through it, so you can see it. And then we'll go back to the black so you can really see this. But if you can line up those circles immediately in between the other circles. So we're kind of going to be circling some of the other stuff we did, but you'll be able to see the design. So if you wanted a whole bunch of like just a circle ring, you could get that out of this without having a specific stencil to do it. And you can obviously do this same stuff with oxides or whatever else you wanted to do. I'm just showing you with a multi-liner so that you could actually color it in if you wanted to. So now, look at how perfectly those circles go all the way around. So you could do the circles and the little chopstick looking things, or you could leave the outside. I mean, just whatever you want. There's so many options. So that's a few options with the Manly Mandala. So if you haven't gotten these stencils, woo, you should pick up a few because they're amazing. Hi, Deanna. So with this one, I'm going to show you this one next. There's 2 layers to this one. This is the flower hive or hive flower. I'm not sure which, but there's 2 layers with this. So one is the little hexagons, which I really like. But you know, I'm going to spray it with my pixie spray so I can show you that you don't have to make the whole entire background with the hives. You can just do a portion of it. So you just lay your stencil on there wherever you want. And then you can choose and color the ones that you want. So let's say we started here and we went here and maybe here, and then we'll go here, and now I'll go here, and maybe I'll skip one and go over here. And remember, if you skip one and it's not what you like, then you can always go back and add more in. But if you didn't want the whole background to be these, you could just do some. So then look, you have these shapes, these designs that you could put all over your card. Color them in. Super fun. So I really like that about that one. They also look pretty good too if you do them this way. So let's just lay it like this. And then you get, watch, you get, if you had like little bitty stamps, like, I don't know, some of the smaller ones we had, like when we did the bees or symbols or whatever, you can make a flower. So you can make a flower, put whatever you want in the center of it. These also make these shapes, so you could do it, you could line them up. So you could put this one right next to this one. Then you just move it over a little. And again, and then you have a border like this, or a soccer ball. It does kind of look like a soccer ball. Hi, Gayla. So there, even though this looks like a honeycomb and that's how most people would use it, there are still a lot of options you could do. You could put letters in there, or you could put symbols in there, or you could put the flowers in there. But I kind of like it with just these three. Hee hee hee. Look, it looks like a little potted plant, doesn't it? So also, I know that there's a lot of people that like that lace border that you can do. And watch how much this looks like that lace border. This is what I was thinking when I saw this design. Look how that looks like that lace border that some people make. So you could make it as a lace border on your card, or then it could be grass if you put them all together. You have a little bit of grass on your card. I really like that. You can use these as teardrops or raindrops, so you just choose the one that you want. So now you have water droplets. So many options. So many options. So I love these because I love the multi-use. Those are the ones that popped out to me right away on these. I'm sure we could fancy some other ideas. And then here is the Celtic Circle. So the Celtic Circle, it's quite an intricate design in here. But what happens if, I wonder, if you do just some of it? Like, what if we just did the rope area? I wonder what it would look like. These are much smaller, so they take just a little bit longer to do because there's so many of them. But I was curious. It looks like a tire. Doesn't that look like a tire? Or a worm? What happens if we do just the center? We get dashes, which is really cool. And then what if we flip it over and do them the opposite way? Do we get plus signs or X's? So if we flip this over and now do them going this way, so remember, when you have a design and it all goes one way, you can flip over the stencil and get something different. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect X's. Isn't that cool? I really love that. And you can change it too. So I could then put it here like this. And then instead of making a circle, now I've made it like a squiggly line, I guess, if you will. Because I changed the direction of the stencil, then just flip it over, put these back on there, line them up. They're pretty easy to line up because you can see through them. And then do it the other way. You guys are never ever gonna look at stencils the same again. Look. So I didn't just make a little one, I made it go, you can make it go in whatever direction you want. So it doesn't have to be a circle. It can be whatever you want it to be. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I like it a lot. So I wonder what happens if we, so if we did these like that, what happens if we flip it over? I have not done this yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm about to find out because I'm curious. I'm just a curious little bugger. This is what I do. I just sit around and play with my stuff and say, how can I use that different than everybody else? That's what makes it so fun for me. So I can pick up any stencil, trace out some stuff out of it, and see what we get. This kind of looks like macaroni to me. But this might look more like a rope once we get done because, and you could do just one line. You don't have to do two. You don't have to do both lines. You could just do one. I just did them both because that's the way we started out. Look at that. Okay, that's pretty cool. That is pretty lacy looking. And you could do the same thing with that. You can make that go whoop, whoop, however you want. I really like that. So remember that you can always do these off the page too. So they look like a rope. So we could actually do part of it here. I'm not going to do the bottom part. I'm just going to do the top part. I want to see what happens if I can try to make this look like a rope versus, we're going to see. Most of these that we're going over right now, I have not done these. I just had them in my head when I looked at the stencil that I could try them and see what happens, but I have not tried them. So this is trying it live. So look at that. That kind of looks like baseball. So if you flip it over, nope. What if we pull this one closer, the bottom one closer? Let's see if we can do that. Or maybe we can connect it. Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get that lined up perfectly. Nope, it's not gonna connect. There it is. That's what we did. Oh, hold up. I think I got another design going on here. We might have to move this stencil a little as we're going because this part's shorter than the other part, but I think we could do it. So I'm just matching up the bottom ends as I'm going, and whenever they fall out of alignment, I'm moving it just a little to get it back into alignment, because the inside is smaller than the top part. So I'm just moving it slightly. Look at that. Is that not cool? It did look like a saw blade. Look at that. That's really neat, you guys. This is really fun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways to play with this. That is baseball. Yep, it is. So what do you guys think about that? Isn't that fun? And the one we used tonight, here was one I played out to make sure I liked the design. Was that fun? Did you guys like that? That was super cool, huh? Gold chain necklace? Yes. So there, I pulled out 4. We played with the Pharaoh mandala, the Manly mandala, the Flower Hive, and the Celtic Circle. So 4 stencils, and then last night and the night before, we did 2 other stencils. Let's see. I think I have those cards right here. We did the water mandala on this one. Tonight we did the Pharaoh. And the night before, we did the mandala, which also does this one and this one. So you get both designs. This one, and all the ones we practiced tonight. Isn't that awesome? You can take any stencil that you have and make something amazing out of it, I think. So you guys just play with those stencils and make them your backgrounds. If you don't want to draw in a background, or you want to, once you start doing this a little bit more, you'll get kind of used to that background type look, and you'll really have fun with it. You could even do this as, we could have done this as a half circle and not done the top and just put sentiments up there. So many different ideas. We could have put the jewels inside this little dot and it would have looked a little bit like a flower or in between. So many ideas, so many things. I'm so glad that you guys hung out with me. I'm glad that you like these different ways to use the stencils. I just wanted to share an idea. And I'm glad that you guys liked it. It turned out really good. You really like the fishing guy one? I think because those are such deep colors and they really pop on there. I think this would look just as good without the pink ring in it. It looked so much different before we put the pink ring on it that I think you'd get even a different look if you left the pink part out. But this week has been a blast. I have really enjoyed it. Yes, it is. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys learn new techniques and things to do with your stuff. Jamie and I are all about you using your items in more than one way. And that's my goal. I like the dies to be used in more than one way. I like the stencils to be used in more than one way. I like you to really get your money's worth out of this stuff. So that was my goal for this week, and I'm super glad you guys liked it. Let's see what my crazy brain will come up with for next week. But I will definitely see you guys next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will let you know if I'm running late due to the photo shoot, but I think I'll be okay. And so I'll definitely post if there's an issue. So thank you so much for joining me. Come back again next week and we'll do more stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed this session, and we'll do something else next week. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Good night.